Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Monster Matchup! Today we have a look at the Eater of Elders, the Angry Flying Durian, the Hedgehog Dragon himself. Put your hands together for Nergigante!
Yes, indeed, today we're having a look at our first Elder Dragon for Monster Hunter World. I have been waiting so long for this moment, as I'm sure many of you have, and we are finally here.
But what about Devil Joe, Behemoth, Ancient Leshen, and all the—
Silence, Cobra Dog. Go back to the Poopy Vale and brood with your minions. This guy will make you want to say,
why you bullying me?
He can really wreck house, to the point where other Elder Dragons look the other way. And may I say, this is arguably my favorite monster in terms of a fun fight.
Are you sure about that?
Let's take a look at what this horny, thorny boy brings to the table. 3, 2, 1, begin! Nergigante is one angry boy. He possesses a serious presence in battle with powerful melee attacks, far-reaching mobility, and a temper that not even the other Elder Dragons want to fight against. He finds all of them to be quite the delicacies, actually. Spicy Mountain, spicy angry fire kitties. He's quite the spice fanatic.
Yeah, boy.
Did I go full Mad Lad and record AT-Nerg footage only? No, just no. But I can show you what Spiky Boy is capable of normally. You'll find him in the lower parts of the Elder's Recess, where the Precious lives. Right out of Camp 16. By the way, unlock your camps. It'll make quests a lot easier when you don't have to run through the entire map just to get pulverized by the time you get to where you need to go. Like just about every monster, the more you fight him, the easier it'll get. But a lot of up-and-coming hunters have had their spirits broken by him, along with many other things being broken. So then, what makes the Hedgehog from HE Double Hockey Sticks a force to be reckoned with? Nergigante will be the one to soar across the room to kill you just for sneezing in his direction. Nergigante's fighting capabilities include, but are not limited to, a cute little hate-filled slap, terrifying tail action, forward face shovel, shoulder wing check? Question mark? Big angry slam jam, and here's a few things to look out for with Nergigante. The speed, the spikes, and the giant fish! Speed. Nerg is a real aggressor. His attacks chain up very easily and can leave even an experienced hunter on their toes. There isn't a set pattern with these attacks either, so for all you know, he'll either love tap you 3 times in a row, or stun lock you into oblivion with his earth-shattering fist. If you have a tendency to get hit, stun resistance will help you tremendously. Also, not getting hit helps a lot too. Superman dive! Not only can he attack with quickness, but he is quite actually a living homing missile. You could be further than the reach of most monsters, but he'll just wind up and launch at you with full force. Like any other monster, timing is critical against Elder Dragon Randy Orton over here. A lot of his attacks have a second or two of a wind-up, so you can kind of tell what he's about to do. Now, whether or not you can save yourself from said wind-up is dependent on the situation, because sometimes you'll be in too deep even though you're trying to keep up above in your head instead of going under the weight of this beast. Friendly reminder PSA. Don't try to use traps on Elder Dragons. I sometimes see hunters try capturing Nicaragua with a shock or pitfall trap. I just need to tell you,
not scientifically possible!
He'll look at the trap, then back to you, then back to the trap, then back to you, and laugh. Spikes! Nergigante has this pesky ability that lets him regenerate these big, pointy, gaping dragon rib teeth spikes all over his body. Not gonna lie, it's a real thorn in my side. On the bright side, these spikes are considered weak parts when they first grow in, so Nerg basically becomes a walking magnet for orange numbers, hello Basil Goose. But these spikes will make his attacks even more painful. And when he attacks you with certain moves, spikes can launch out and potentially hit you. A porcupine that can shoot its quills at you. It's wonderful. Yeah, no, that's not terrifying at all, no. And when these spikes harden and darken, they can no longer be broken off, and instead of being weak points, they can actually deflect your standard attacks. Which leads to the next point. The Pain Incarnate Dive Bomb. Nergigante, like a lot of monsters, if not all of them, has visual and audio cues that tell you what he's going to do. He'll snuggle up a bit before jumping at you. He'll wind up for a good 2 seconds before slamming you with his fist or palm. And the trademark apocalyptic tectonic technique that is the Nergigante Super Spiky Slam Jam. TM. He will fly up into the air, prepare for a superhero landing, pick one, or an unfortunate bundle of targets, and then... launch them into the pow! He just dropped you like a sick beat or a bad habit. It's a pretty gigantic hitbox. I cannot stress enough to you how valuable the Superman dive is with this. You can also try flash potting him or whatever. We've covered a lot of what Nergigante can do, but what can a hunter do other than run away and hope he doesn't catch you, which he probably will? You could be a coward and use a Farcaster, which is actually not a bad idea. I recommend you carrying Farcasters, they're very handy. Or you can utilize the battlefield and take advantage of the Angry Durian's weaknesses. By the way, I had durian for the first time not too long ago. Well, it was actually a durian smoothie. Let me tell you, worst decision ever. Nergigante actually has a few different means to be countered. There are several things you can take advantage of when fighting him. The stalactites on the ceiling in this area help take chunks of Nerg's health off and shortens the fight for you. Nergigante will also drop dragon pods after being hit, which, when shot at him, will help stagger him. More often than not, pretty much always, cutting the tail will limit a monster's ability to pulverize you. Nergigante is no exception, and you need a lot of them for Nerg weapons anyway, so chop chop. Maybe not as much of a weak point as it is just a heads up, there are pieces of crystal that fall from the ceiling of Nergigante's nest or lair. They can stagger you, so look out for the crystals in the ground that indicate where they're falling. When you attack Nerg after he goes nap, he'll do a dive bomb and break down one of the two walls in his lair. I believe it's south and east. This will give you more room to work with, as his lair and the route to it is very narrow and is basically a runway for Durian's attacks. Weak points. As we discussed earlier, when Hedgehog has all his spikes out, he is one big weak point until they harden. Points that you want to focus on, after cutting the tail, are those beautiful horns, the face, and his front legs. Fun fact, Nergigante has toe beans. This consumer of elder dragons, who is an elder dragon, he's just got his little toe beans.
That's the cutest looking thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Element weaknesses. Fire is actually not hot garbage this time around. However, fire, water, and ice are going to be the lackluster elements of the bunch. Dragon weapons will be of use as well. Might not always show with the number of stars here, but Elder Seal is valuable when trying to mitigate how quickly Nergigante gets his spikes back up again. But the most effective element in terms of weakness is when Nergigante goes full AC/DC and gets thunderstruck. Ailment weaknesses. While they're not all 3 stars, just about any ailment will help you. Sleep and paralysis are especially handy for pinning this otherwise pretty mobile monster down, and cutting off the tail, and breaking the horns, and doing all the things I've told you to do thus far. So to sum it up, Nergigante, like all monsters, will eventually be easy peasy. But for the upfront challenge, he is a force to be reckoned with and shouldn't be taken lightly. You'll encounter him on top of Zora Magdaros as well, which, do I even do a matchup for Zora Magdaros? He doesn't fit the normal formula. What am I supposed to do with it? But you'll only need to repel him instead of slay at that point. And overall, it's easy as long as you listen to Piccolo and dodge. Arch-tempered Nergigante is normal Nerg 100-fold, and my heart just wasn't ready to try and do footage of beating that beast. But the same points I've covered here can help with that battle too. I'll probably talk about AT differences once I've covered all of the Elder Dragons, so that will probably be in about 2 years. And even when you graduate and become an MLG, no-scope and pro hunter, I think it's a fun fight to come back to. Also, his weapons and armor are pretty great. Final verdict, welcome to the jam, the Elder Dragon Jam. Next time, the dust from my gaming system over this past month has turned into a dragon. This episode of the Monster Matchup has been brought to you by all of the beautiful souls over at the My Name is Gabe Patreon. They've given me the chance to strive for improvement and increase the quality of my content, such as acquiring this juicy microphone. Becoming a patron gives you VIP channel access in the My Name is Gabe Discord server and behind the scenes content on Patreon, of which there is more to come. And even if you can't be a patron, come join the Discord anyway. Special thanks to all my patrons, including Kylie Welp and Faux Shizzle, Precision Bizzle, as well as each and every one of you who has contributed to the growth of this channel. I appreciate all of yous. I know I said I'd be here to stay, and I am. This past month and a half has been pretty busy for me on a personal end, work outside of YouTube. My sister actually started her first year of college on top of big life things going on. I did have setbacks in my free time as well. I hadn't played a video game for like a good month. It was bad. Part 2 of my Soul Level 1 run is already recorded. I just haven't had time to sit and edit it. But most importantly, thanks for bearing with me during all that. Next matchup is going to be a pretty fun one, and it won't take as long to come out, I swear. Now, if you'll excuse me, let me get this part 2 of Dark Souls out real quick. Thanks again. Bye-bye.